welcome to Recollections May Vary, a royal recap live from London. I am here with Kevin O'Sullivan, the host of The Political Asylum with Kevin O'Sullivan. The audience loves you. How do we not get together in real life when we're in the same city? This is what the audience wants.
Exactly right. Well, my audience loves you, so it's a privilege to be here with you here in my hometown.
Is my puppy on the wrong side?
No, I tell you, I think it goes like this: that men have it on the left and women have it on the right. So I think you got it right. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm no expert.
I was afraid I was making
The point is, we're making the gesture.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Hey guys, before we get into it, let's talk beauty. Who doesn't want energy, metabolic, immune, and skin support? Meet Peak, a luxury brand transforming wellness with the absolute best rare and precious plants, cutting-edge ingredients, and formulations rooted in traditional wisdom. Their science-backed botanicals, minerals, and supplements support sustained energy, metabolic function, immune health, and radiant skin, making it easy to live each day with vitality. One of their newest essentials, the Deep Hydration Protocol, is a two-part drinkable skincare system that keeps your body and skin hydrated while promoting better sleep. Made without sugar, fillers, or artificial flavors, and crafted with natural ingredients for a clean, spa-like taste you can feel good about. Daily use supports hydration, glowing skin, improved sleep, and sustained energy. In the morning, I use BT Fountain. This is their beauty electrolyte. I can even travel with it. It's amazing. And in the evening, I'm going to be relying on RE Fountain. This is the calming electrolyte. It contains a gentle form of magnesium that eases tension and helps you get deep, restful sleep without feeling groggy. Wake up rested and stay hydrated all day. Get 20% off for life, a complimentary gift, and explore Peak's clean, pure ingredient products at peaklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. This is hydration redefined. Try it and glow from the inside out.
So much to talk about. First of all, over the weekend, Meghan Markle shares her pumpkin patch video. No faces of the children. Doria, even from the back of the head. Initially, when I saw it, I thought, this is not a woman that fled Britain for privacy. She will not leave us alone when it comes to social media. And there was a really great video I watched about Michael Jackson, about how they said he understood absence and he understood presence. He knew when to disappear and to create a mystery around him. What is he going to do next? And then he knew when to pop up and be present. Meghan kind of lacks that ability. Do you agree?
Well, exactly right, and that's the mystique of royalty. The Queen's the late Queen's old maxim. Never complain, never explain. And the whole point about the royal family is that they genuinely don't chase publicity. Meghan can't quite understand that, but they don't. They're in the papers when they do something. If the King and Camilla go to Italy to see the Pope, that'll get in the papers. But probably for the next week or so, they'll do nothing. So there are long periods of time when members of the royal family, are not seen and not heard. And that is the secret of their publicity success, if you like. They won't try at it. They don't go after 5 days. I haven't been in the papers yet for ages. It's about time I got on the front page. She's never been able to get that through her head, that these people are not two-bit celebrities with publicists and image makers and agents. They're members of the royal family. When they're in the papers, they're in the papers. She treats the whole thing like a kind of celebrity game, and she gets so nervous about 3 days when she hasn't been in the paper that she blitzes us again. And the more you do it, the less magical you become as a celebrity. People go, oh, not her again, her again, her again. So she breaks the golden rule. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily advise people to follow in Michael Jackson's footsteps in any way whatsoever. But in that respect, you're right, what you said. He understood, stay away from the limelight until you need to be in the limelight. Don't overdo it. Otherwise, people will become bored with you. And boy, oh boy, after the last 3 weeks, are people bored with Meghan? that video she made, the pumpkin video, I mean, on the face of it, it's quite sweet. A family trip to the pumpkin farm and all that, and Harry making pumpkin masks. But once again, this back of the kid's head stuff, it's now freaky weird, isn't it? It's like, for God's sake, either show them or don't. I don't want to see the back of these kids' heads anymore. It is strange, it's odd, it's weird, it's disconcerting, and yet she's done it again. And no doubt what it means, the all the leaves are brown, mamas and papas, that video, it means she's just about to try and sell something else to us again. These videos of her kids are always a prelude to a selling spree on her part. She uses those kids to sell stuff, not particularly the most edifying spectacle.
I feel like the back of the heads is in preparation to negotiate the reveal with People magazine.
Yeah, down the line, she realizes there's going to be a lot of money in showing those kids' faces for the first time. But I think it began that she, like so many C-list Hollywood celebrities, she fetishizes privacy. So the lower down the Hollywood ladder people are, the more obsessed they are with privacy, because they will have hired some two-bit little PR. Say, oh, you got to be privacy. You got to protect your privacy. You got to control the narrative and all that stuff. So somewhere down the line, she's hired one of these people, and the higher up the Hollywood ladder you get, when you start talking to real stars, they're not particularly obsessed with privacy. Because they've learnt the game, they understand it. But people like Meghan, so she's kicked off with this, oh, you got to protect your privacy. And she's so with the kids, we got to protect the kids' privacy. And now it's turned into this weird obsession. It really is. I find it now quite disturbing, like something out of a horror movie. Stop showing the kids with no faces. It's weird.
Well, let's talk about Meghan's 10th publicist to leave her in 5 years. The quote from one source that's close to Emily Robertson told the Daily Mail, things must have been pretty horrible because she has a very tough shell and incredible work ethic. So her communications director, Meghan's communications director, left her role some weeks ago. Emily resigned after just 3 months on the job. We believe it's around the Princess Diana feet video that Emily might have said, you know what, I'm out. What does this say about, what does the turnover say about Prince Harry and Meghan, but specifically Meghan's leadership? And why does Meghan need a communications director?
Well, not only does she feel she needs a communications director, she seems to feel she needs a communications department. Now she's losing. She's always hemorrhaged staff, her and Harry. I think since they moved to California, we're up in the 30s now. Over 30
and
members.
We're not counting domestic staff.
Yeah, well, okay, well, Archwell, we're talking about more than 30 staff have quit. Think about that. That's in 5 years. That's a lot of staff in 5 years. So this Emily Robertson, I mean, she's by far and away not the first of her PRs, her publicists, to leave. But this Emily Robertson leaving so quickly is interesting because she used to be a publicist on The Crown, that Netflix series about the royal family, which is an interesting sort of career development, isn't it? To go from this program, this fictional drama about the royal family.
That's critical of the royal family.
That's critical of the royal family.
Ends with it looking like Prince William or Prince Philip was going to kill Diana.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting that she was hired by Meghan in the first place, but by all accounts, like so many people in Hollywood, Emily Robertson is a tough cookie. Used to the rough and tumble of the Hollywood world, of the Tinseltown jungle, as it were. And she left Meghan in 3 months flat. On LinkedIn, she removed all reference to the fact she'd ever worked there, which is kind of weird because she's still got her full CV, all the places she's worked, but she's taken Meghan and Harry off. So by all accounts, Emily must have found working for Meghan a particularly bruising experience. And you know why? You know why.
Dictator in high heels.
Well, yeah, she's a dictator in high heels, but what is she most obsessed with? Her image, the publicity she gets. So her communication staff have been getting it in the ear ever since, was it last September, when the Hollywood Reporter did that full investigation into her being a tyrant in high heels, who phoned people up at 3 a.m, made grown men cry, and so on and so forth.
Vanity Fair says somebody's going to therapy over work after working with her.
Then along came Vanity Fair with that 8,000 word. I'm not going to call it because it was a hatchet job. No, it wasn't a hatchet job. Read it. It was a thoroughly well investigated, researched, long article. Hatchet jobs are when journalists deliberately go out to attack someone, to wreck their reputation. Vanity Fair journalists aren't like that. They just investigated the story, and what they found didn't make Meghan look good, to say the least. Therefore, publicists got fired left, right, and centre. So every time she sees something negative about her in the press, somebody's going to get it in the neck. Someone is going to get shouted at 3 a.m. by the tyrant in high heels. My guess is Emily Robertson just decided she wasn't going to take any more of it. But it's a fascinating story that she's just gone, known to be a tough cookie, and yet is clearly really upset by this, to the extent she's taken off all reference of ever working for Meghan Markle from her CV, which is extraordinary.
And Meghan and Harry's team replied, I'm sure, to People magazine that she was just with them on a temporary basis, saying that she was hired for special projects, those special projects being With Love Meghan and As Ever. Well, so what, are you closing up shop? We have a Christmas special coming out in November. Is there not a season 3, which Meghan hinted at during the Fortune Summit in Washington, D.C.? To me, it's confirmation that With Love Meghan season 3 is DOA.
It certainly is. It's a dead show walking.
Yeah.
But it's interesting you say about the timing. The chronology of the Emily Robertson story is fascinating, because if you think about it, her tenure, just 3 months, and by the way, it wasn't temporary. Every time somebody leaves...
Nobody leaves Netflix to go to a temporary gig with Harry and Meghan.
But Meghan, every time someone leaves her study, they were only supposed to be here for 3 weeks anyway. I only hired them for 2 days. So it's really... Nobody ever actually leaves her employ, as far as she's concerned, unless it's pre-arranged. So you can take that with a pinch of salt. But what is interesting about the Emily Robertson tenure is it coincides exactly with what you might call the demise of As Ever. So over the last 3 months, think about it, not so long ago, she was in our face every day. Hey, I got some Scam Jam. Hey, look, I got Rosé. I got Sauvignon Blanc, so on and so forth. And it's clearly not selling. Nothing is selling. People more and more complaining that if you do send off for some cookie dough or marmalade or whatever, it just doesn't turn up. You get an email 2 months later saying, sorry about that. We'll try and get your money back to you. So I believe that Emily Robertson was probably instructed by Meghan, hey, make As Ever a smashing success. Get it out there, get the name. It's not working. I'm not selling anything. I need to be on the front pages. She got herself on lots of front pages, but As Ever, still not selling. So I suspect Emily's problem was to be there as Meghan lost it, while As Ever went down the pan.
Sometimes it takes more than flower sprinkles, Kev.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this St. Meghan Markle Reddit discussion that I thought was interesting. OK Distribution writes, for the last week, my Twitter has been filled with pro-Meghan Markle and Harry. I can't block fast enough anyone else having this problem. Elevated with Hummus replied, when one fails to organically and authentically win the hearts and minds of the public, one will resort to winning them artificially. It's like writing your own affirmations on your own banana. An affectionate Thai 250 spawns bots and paid-for PR accounts just reported as spam. Kolniak suggests, are their supporters all revved up because they're scared William's going to orchestrate the stripping of the titles? Which reminded me of this Telegraph story from 2018, and I'm wondering if you remember this. Megbot army linked to Russian conspiracy, tweeting obsessive support for the Duchess of Sussex. So this is in the Telegraph, which I think gives it some legitimacy. And it says they analyzed accounts linked to Meghan Markle's Twitter community, found around 1,000 accounts which tweeted more than 2.5 million times since September.
Load of tweets.
The report claims one such account was an army of pro-Meghan followers, which also tweets about pro-democratic U.S. politics, displaying bot-like activity. The firm found a network of 1,103 highly connected Twitter accounts that in 6 months had potentially reached 1 billion Twitter impressions, and they said that it looked very orchestrated. Only a few accounts in the community were completely automated, so some were, but some of them had unusual features which suggests there could be automation behind some of the accounts. There has also been evidence surrounding coordinated attacks on correspondents who have written negative stories about the Duchess. So could Meghan and her team be kicking into that old strategy again, kicking into high gear about coordinated bots and takedowns?
Well, it feeds into what we were just talking about. Her obsession
Controlling the narrative.
her obsession with publicity, controlling the narrative. And on the lowest possible level, you can hire these companies that use bots and, block tweet about you, block tweet against people who aren't nice to you. I love that paragraph about people who've been critical about correspondence writers who've been critical about her find themselves suddenly attacked by an avalanche of angry, aggressive
anonymous counts.
Because I know about this. As you'd imagine, I get it quite a lot. I'd never really thought about it. I mean, there's one thing is true, right? Yeah, with Team Sussex, these crazy Meghan obsessives, they're out there. They exist. They're real people. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, or as near as damn it, they're real people. They're not obviously altogether there, but yeah. So you do get attacked by these real people, and then now and again you find yourself, man, a lot of people attacking me today,
and they have 9 followers. They have 9 followers.
Yeah,
This person cared about me.
Or no followers. Yeah. So is Meghan hiring sort of bot troll people to fight her cause? Well, yeah, I certainly wouldn't put it past her.
Right. It reminds me of her walking out of the yoga class in Toronto, calling up the paparazzi, trying to ensure that they snap her picture. It's like old school. I don't think she's evolved. I mean, she would say it herself. She said it in the Washington, D.C. Fortune interview. I don't think she has evolved legacy media-wise. Legacy media isn't necessarily it. And she talks about, I was still using Boomerang when the last time I was on Instagram. So I can see her reverting back to some of these old strategies that she deemed were successful for her in the past.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. I mean, we don't know the truth of it, but I would, if somebody said to me, she's been paying all these bot troll companies, who's going to go, I find that hard to believe. You find it very easy to believe. That's what she's like. She's obsessed. I'll tell you what I think about her is this, she does think she's the greatest person on the face of the earth. And I think she hires all these publicists, these communications chiefs, these bots, these trolls, to try and persuade people. When you don't like me, you're wrong. I'm going to persuade you.
You're secretly at home making her single skillet spaghetti. That's what she told Bloomberg, remember?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, God. Yeah, so she's obsessed with trying to persuade everybody to love her. And a lot of people or quite a few people in showbiz don't have a problem with that. And you find out when you meet them, it's because they're actually quite nice people. They're very nice people. But it's difficult for someone like Meghan to persuade everyone to love her because, frankly, half the things she does don't seem to be very nice. So there's her problem. You can hire all the bots, the trolls, the communication chiefs, the publicists you like. But if you have a personality that isn't particularly likable, you're not going to make yourself popular. And I think she's finding that out
the hard way. Let's talk about Donald Trump's state visit. I know it was a few weeks ago, but the Daily Beast reporting that the president corners Queen Camilla and says, "What's the gossip on Meghan?" I love that visual. I mean, and you know what? It's actually very funny compared to the last Queen Camilla and president story, which was Joe Biden passing gas in her presence. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, this is a step up on the presidential ladder, isn't it? But I don't doubt that story for a second. It's so Donald Trump. And here's the great thing is, I don't know what Queen Camilla's response was, but I guarantee you it was probably quite effusive. She loves all of that stuff. She loves gossiping. So she'd have turned around and talked to him about Meghan, because of course she hates Meghan.
Well, I was just thinking about Queen Camilla inviting Piers Morgan and Jeremy Clarkson to an event that she hosted, and all of the outrage from the Meghan supporters that Queen Camilla would associate with Jeremy Clarkson and Piers Morgan. And it's like, why? They're highly influential and intelligent individuals who saw right through Meghan.
Yeah, it's a really interesting point as well that she did, if you invite Piers and Jeremy Clarkson to your event, in terms of Meghan, you're making a statement, because those two are right out there for not being particularly close or big fans of Meghan Markle. So I think that would have been Camilla sending Meghan a message. Don't forget, Meghan's husband called Camilla the villain of the story.
Evil stepmother.
Yeah, evil stepmother. That book of his was particularly nasty to Camilla. So Camilla can't stand Harry, can't stand Meghan. Remember when Harry was here last time in London and went to see his father for 53 minutes?
His bodyguard was in the room.
Yeah, and Camilla was in the room.
I meant Camilla, the bodyguard.
Yeah. Well, she insisted on being there.
Yeah.
And can you imagine? I was been trying to picture it. I mean, I know what it would have been like. She'd have sat looking at him like that.
I read what you wrote about me, or your ghost blogger wrote about me.
Camilla, I think, is a formidable woman, and also she's great fun. So when Donald Trump said to her, "Come on, then, what's going on with Meghan?" I guarantee you that Camilla would have engaged in that conversation with some enthusiasm. Yeah, you heard about as ever.
Flower sprinkles, all the flower sprinkles here today. They're as ever. Let's talk about Prince William. This headline, livid over Harry and Meghan's UK comeback plan. I too was livid when I read some of these details. A source says, although America is home, Meghan's keen to reestablish links to the royal family, of course, because she can monetize them. They are carrying out a secret plan called Project Thaw, not so secret since we know about it. Meghan still believes they can all fully reconcile. Delulu. Sources say, as part of Project Thaw, this is where I get really personally offended, Markle instructed her team to set up a meeting with Catherine, Princess of Wales, in hopes the reunion would soften public opinion of the couple and help pave the way for their return to England. You know why I feel like this is coming from Meghan's team? Because they call her Kate Middleton. And to me, that's devaluing the fact that she's the future queen. This source keeps referring to Kate Middleton, Kate Middleton. You and I know that Prince William and his team have been beating into all of us. It's Catherine, Princess of Wales. The fact that this source keeps saying Kate Middleton to me suggests this could be truly coming from Camp Meghan. They say that separate insiders claimed William is determined to block any such meeting, or the Sussex is moving back to England, saying that at the very least he wants to severely hamper Harry's potential move to Windsor. They claim Harry's sent people out here to look at estates, Windsor homes, in case they want to move back out here. He's the heir now, carrying the institution. From his perspective, readmitting Harry is in any official or semi-official capacity risks confusion and fresh controversy. Let me just slur all over this paragraph. He feels burned and doesn't want to reopen old wounds. Do you have a reaction to that? And are you as personally offended by the idea of Meghan thinking she has the authority to talk to Catherine?
I'll tell you what I think this is about. Operation Thaw. It is that Meghan and Harry will have seen over the past couple of weeks, it came to fruition last week, the royal family, William being the mover and the shaker in this, moving to take away Prince Andrew's titles and take away Fergie's titles. We've got a way to go on that, but it's pretty dramatic stuff. Now, it is well known, you and I have talked about this before, more than 80% of the British people want to overrule the king, because the King Charles said, oh, well, as long as we get him to agree not to use these titles, the Duke of York, Earl of Inverness and Baron Killaleah in Northern Ireland, as long as we get him to agree not to use those titles, that's all right, isn't it? No, it's not all right, because he's still officially got those titles. The king is trying to be nice to his brother. Look, you can keep the titles. I'll sort this with the people. Well, the people aren't having it. Now, William is known to side with the people on this. William wants an act of parliament to actually take Andrew's titles away, which is what it would require.
Well, I've also read about a letters patent where it would give Prince William more freedom to just strip. It would be less about the government and more about the sovereign that could strip at a letters patent demand, which would be beneficial.
Well, they could do that. I mean, all it requires is for the royal family to say to our parliament,
I know, but if Prince William pursues the letters patent, he doesn't need Parliament, and he can say across the board, by Prince Andrew, by Fergie, by William, or by Harry, by Meghan, by Archie.
It doesn't mean he loses the titles. It doesn't mean he loses the titles. It has to go through Parliament.
But they're saying he's trying to change it. That William wants to change it.
Well, he can't. I mean, he can't change that. That's the law. I mean, the the thing about the royal family is it's not like the Middle Ages anymore. We actually rule them. They don't rule us. We make the decisions. We let them sort of play at being king and queen and all that. But King Charles, is trying to get away with soft soaping.
I think it's because he's sick.
I don't know. It's because he's a bit of a soft old.
I think he's sick, and his mom's team really should have handled it. I mean, I feel guilty. I feel really guilty. He is sick every week.
But well, of course we feel sorry for him there, and we wish him all the best, as we do Catherine. But that isn't the point. This is a very important issue for this country, and the people want that oaf, that awful little man, that liar, Andrew, stripped of his titles, and it has to go through Parliament. William wants that to happen. I mean, he might want to change the system in the future, but the system we've got now. There's nothing he can do about that. Now, given that William is extremely strong on this, it is also well known that as soon as he ascends to the throne, when he becomes king, there'll be some other titles he'll be going for. He will do it. He will go for Harry and Meghan, and he will take away their Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles, and especially the kids. He'll take the titles away from the kids, and that's why I think Meghan has launched Operation Thaw, because she wants to get friendly again with William and Kate, as she calls her, in order to try and hang on to her titles. And what I would say to that, Meghan, if you're watching, is good luck with that, because you're going to need it. William and Catherine remain seethingly furious with Harry and Meghan. And I think a lot of us do. The way they behave is disgraceful. It's disgraceful. It's pathetic for her to go, oh, well, we called them racists. We called them slave drivers. We've called them every name under the sun to make money. Let's just put water under the bridge. Let's just bury the hatchet. Let's be friends again. No. You've done too much damage. So that's what I think this is all about. It's Meghan sensing that before too long, she could lose her beloved title.
This one's a little outside of the full Sussex space, but I'm sure you're seeing these pictures of Katy Perry holding hands with Justin Trudeau and macking on large yachts. They've officially confirmed their romance while celebrating the singer's birthday in Paris. I guess my question about Meghan Markle is, how will she feel about this relationship? She featured her best friend, Sophie Trudeau, on Archetypes. She talked about how they giggled like schoolgirls around the pool with all their kids in the pool during that episode. But in Sophie's April 27th, 2024 interview with the Sunday Times, they described her as, or Us Weekly described her as cagey about her relationship with Meghan. So it seemed like Sophie was trying to pull back in 2024. She said, I know her.
Hey, yeah, I
about
know.
Meghan
That's
Markle.
all she said.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be friends.
Yeah,
Who says
and
that about their friends?
She said that they haven't spent much time together. And this is a woman that appeared on Archetypes, which was technically, at least initially, considered a successful podcast. So we assume plenty of people listened to that conversation. And then she tries to divert attention by saying she felt so badly for Princess Catherine, who had recently revealed her cancer diagnosis. My heart just sunk when I saw what was happening, she said. Markle has desperately tried to befriend Katy Perry, an ambassador for the King's Trust. Katy is. You'll also remember she played the King's coronation concert with Lionel freaking Richie, because that's not a weird duo. And Meghan flew on a private jet to Vegas to see Katy perform. Katy played the opening of Invictus not too long ago. So it's just a weird situation to see, or to try to gauge where Meghan Markle is when it comes to this relationship. Does she cozy up to Katy for the power, because Justin Trudeau might try to do something else in the political space? Or does she stay true to Sophie, who seems to have distanced herself?
My guess is that Meghan will go with the flow and go with the really famous one. Katy Perry and Katy Perry, the astronaut, and Trudeau, because there's more mileage in that. You're going to get in the papers more through that relationship. Sophie Trudeau, in terms of being front page news, now that she's split from Trudeau, less so. Justin Trudeau, who I think is one of the most awful human beings who ever drew best, but he's good copy, and certainly with Katy Perry, he's even better copy. This is a headline-making relationship. Look at the papers in Britain, I'm sure America as well, but the papers in Britain all the way across this last weekend, pictures of Katy and Justin hand in hand. Meghan will go in that direction because it's better for her, gets her more publicity. I think Sophie will be cast aside onto the scrap heap of Meghan's personal history, like so many other people.
It just shows you kind of what an opportunist she is. And there's a lack of loyalty that Harry and Meghan consistently demonstrate between what they've done to the British royal family, who gave them the platform that they have today. Jessica Mulroney, who gave Meghan a lot of credibility when she was in Canada. It just seems like this is the perfect example of Meghan disregarding somebody who was of value to her and helped her climb the ladder at some point in her life.
Yeah, I mean, the Jessica Mulroney story is shocking. In that, you're exactly right, Kinsey. That illustrates exactly what Meghan Markle is like. When I can use your help, I'll use you. When I don't need your help, I'll cast you aside. Jessica Mulroney gets involved in this kind of pretty trumped up racism row. I mean, it wasn't great. She admitted she was in the wrong. But Meghan, who'd been very, very close to her, this was a woman, her kids were bridesmaids of honor at the Windsor wedding for Harry and Meghan. She was deeply involved. And as soon as this race row came up, Meghan dropped her like a stone. She's got no loyalty to anyone except for herself. And when the time is right, I think old Prince Harry ought to make note of this. He'll get cast aside like yesterday's news at some point when it suits Meghan.
Absolutely. All right. Well, agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Kev, I'm sure I'm going to be on with you throughout the week here in London. So tune into Talk TV's YouTube page to see us catching up throughout the week. Thanks so much for watching. Kev, thanks for being here and spending some time with me. And we will see you again very soon.